If you're a woman and you have a Rhesus negative blood group, like blood group A negative, B negative, AB negative, or O negative, please watch this video. As a woman, it is advisable that if you are Rhesus negative, endeavor to check your husband's Rhesus factor as well, or whoever you wish to marry. This is to check if he is also a Rhesus negative as you are, or he is a positive Rhesus. If your husband or the person you intend to marry is equally Rhesus negative as you are, then there is no problem. But if you are Rhesus negative and your husband or the person you intend to marry is Rhesus positive, it calls for serious attention. Like, let's say he is A positive, B positive, AB positive, or O positive. Now, if your partner is Rhesus positive, there is every chance for what we call Rhesus incompatibility. Rhesus incompatibility happens where a Rhesus negative mother is carrying a fetus of a Rhesus positive. This is because the antibody of the Rhesus negative mother may enter into the baby's bloodstream if he or she is Rhesus positive. And when this is done, it can damage the red blood cell of the infant. To explain further, when a woman who is Rhesus negative marries a man or carries a baby for a man who is Rhesus positive, the baby may carry the father's Rhesus positive. And if this happens, it results to Rhesus incompatibility. But if the baby carries the mother's Rhesus negative as well, there is no call for alarm. Because if the baby is Rhesus positive, the mother's immune system will fight against the Rhesus positive in her body. There are different possible ways that Rhesus incompatibility happens. Number one is when a mother is Rhesus negative and the father is Rhesus positive, like I've mentioned earlier. And number two is if the mother have had an abortion or a miscarriage before, the present pregnancy will have a high risk of Rhesus incompatibility. Let me explain this. There is usually no Rhesus incompatibility in first pregnancies. This is because the baby's blood don't normally enter the mother's circulatory system during pregnancy. But the second pregnancy and other subsequent ones will be affected if the baby is Rhesus positive. Because during the first pregnancy, the body have now recognized the Rhesus positive as a foreign substance. At this point, it will start making antibodies against the Rhesus positive. So the moment the woman gets pregnant of a Rhesus positive, it now causes problems. So if you have been pregnant before, whether you gave birth to the baby or you aborted it or you had a miscarriage, provided you have had a baby before, your second pregnancy and other subsequent pregnancies will be affected if they are Rhesus positive. Now, if you're Rhesus negative as a woman, when you get pregnant, what are you supposed to do? If you're Rhesus negative and you are pregnant, you need to go to the hospital at the 28th week of your pregnancy to run an antibody test. The antibody test is done to check if you have started producing antibodies against the Rhesus positive. If the test finds out that you have not started producing antibodies, then you will be given a Rhesus immunoglobulin injection. This injection will help your body not to produce any antibody to the Rhesus positive that may affect the child. After giving birth, another injection will be administered to you within 72 hours. Then if the screening shows that you're beginning to produce antibodies, the Rhesus immunoglobulin injection will not be needed. At that point, it will be quite useless, because what the injection does is it acts as a vaccine and is supposed to be given when you have not started producing any antibody. So when they find out that you're already producing antibody, at that point, you need to be visiting the hospital more regularly. Even after giving birth, they will still pay close attention to you and the baby if necessary. Please note that it is only women who are Rhesus negative and their husbands are Rhesus positive who have Rhesus incompatibility. But if as a woman you are Rhesus negative and your husband is Rhesus negative, you don't have a problem. Or as a woman you are Rhesus positive and your husband is Rhesus negative, you don't have a problem either. The only problem here is a woman being a Rhesus negative and getting married to a Rhesus positive husband. So if you are a Rhesus negative woman, please take it seriously and pay close attention to it. Because if you don't, you may be having issues with miscarriages. And if you succeed in giving birth without proper care from your doctor, your baby may develop brain damages due to high level of bilirubin. The baby can even have problems with hearing and even movement. So endeavor to check for your Rhesus factor. It is very, very important. Not just your own, that of your partner as well. If you have any question, endeavor to drop it in the comments.